obtained. You may find it in your pew Bibles in the racks, or you may find it behind me. Moses said to the Lord, "You have been telling me, lead these people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. You have said, I know you by name, and you have found favor with me. If you are pleased with me, teach me your ways. Teach me your ways, so I may know you and continue to find favor with you. Remember that this nation is your people." This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Thank you, Susan. Would you bow with me for a word of prayer? Lord, your scriptures are the word of God for the people of God, and for that we give you thanks. We want to hear what they say, and we want to understand it. But we want to do more than that. We want to live it. So speak to us through your word, Jesus. And may the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight. Amen. And amen. If you were with us last week, you heard as I shared with you my vision for Centenary for 2017. I'm going to share it again, probably do so for a bit, because I want to keep it in front of us. My vision for us for 2017 is that during this year, we will experience as a church and as individuals a good old-fashioned revival. Now don't panic, we're not putting up tents. I'm thinking what I'm wanting us to do is I'm wanting us to know and to feel and to fall in love with God all over again. I want us to experience that love of God for us so that we're motivated, we're just excited about loving Him. I want us to return to that deep, intimate connection we had with God when we first became Christians. Remember that time when we first became Christians? We were so excited because we discovered God loved us, we discovered God forgave us, and there was just that unique kind of anxiousness. We just wanted to be in the presence of God. We get up and it was, oh man, it's only Tuesday. I want it to be Sunday. I want to go to church. I want to be with people who love Jesus. I want to be surrounded by them. I want to be in that atmosphere. That's what we had when we began. I want us to return to that. I want our lives to be so changed that we have a hunger, a desire to be with Jesus constantly and continually. I want us to want to be with Jesus every moment of every day. I want us to so love Jesus that we hate our own sin. And don't get me wrong, I don't want us hating people, and I don't want us hating, here's what I want. I want us to be so in love with Jesus that we don't want to sin. We don't want to do anything that displeases Him. In fact, we want everything we do to put a smile on His face, to make Him happy. To do that, I want us to be fully submitted to Jesus. Whatever He calls us to do, whatever He asks of us, we do because we're fully surrendered, fully submitted. Jesus is our life. That's my goal, my vision for us for 2017. Now, here's something kind of weird. So I shared that vision with staff and with leadership. And then as I continued to do some study in the scriptures, I found out that that's also the vision and the prayer of all of our great Bible readers. I mean, if you were with us last week, you saw that's what Paul was praying for the church in Ephesus. He just wanted them to know and to experience God's love for them so they know the height and the depth and the width and the length. And he just, throwing dimensions all over the place. I just want you to be bathed and saturated with that love that God has for you. Well, it's not only Paul that prayed that, and not only for the Ephesians did Paul pray that, but Moses prayed that prayer for the Israelites. David prayed that prayer for the Israelites. Jonah prayed that prayer for himself and for others. Even Jesus prayed that prayer for the church, that we would know the love of God for us, and knowing that love that God has for us, we would come to that place where we fall in love with Jesus all over again. Now today as we do that, I want to look at Moses' prayer, Moses' conversation with God. It's found in chapter 33 of Exodus. We're going to look just at 2 verses. I want us to take a look at Moses and what he prays for, what he wants for the life of his people. So to do that, I'm going to ask you to take that insert in your bulletin out so you can take some notes. This is the introduction, and Moses' story is a pretty familiar story to us. He was born at the time when Israel were slaves in Egypt, At that time, Pharaoh, probably Ramses I, had made a ruling that every male Jewish baby was to be taken and thrown into the Nile. That was not for baptism, that was to end their lives. Not wanting to do that to their son, Moses' parents hid him as long as they could. As he grew older, he grew louder, and they realized there came a point where they could no longer protect him by hiding him. So we know the story that they made a basket, they covered it so it was watertight, they placed him in it, they took it down to the Nile, close to the spot where Pharaoh's daughter would bathe, and they kind of gave it a shove in that direction. So that Pharaoh's daughter discovers the basket, opens it up, finds the baby, and chooses to take Moses home and raise him as her own. And you understand what that means? Being raised in Pharaoh's household would have made Moses a prince in Egypt, the most powerful nation of that time period. He would have grown up with every advantage. He would have grown up being educated by Pharaoh's teacher. He would have been a recipient of the best of foods, the best of exercise, the best of everything. Moses grew up knowing what it was to have the very best that life has to offer. That's important to remember for later on, so just kind of make a mental note of that. He also grew up knowing he was a Jew. And when he was out one day, he watched as an Egyptian taskmaster began to beat a Jewish slave. Moses stepped in to stop the beating. You know what happened next. Moses and the Egyptian tangled, and the Egyptian died. And at that moment, Moses discovered something else. Yeah, he was a prince of Egypt. He was also a dirty, rotten, lousy sinner, just like everybody else. He was a murderer. He had taken a human life. And knowing his guilt, experiencing the shame of that guilt, Moses fled. He left Egypt. Ended up in Midian, where he tried to start a new life. He married, became a shepherd for watching over his father-in-law's sheep. One day, while watching those sheep, Moses had an encounter with God in the form of a bush that was on fire, but was not consumed. And Moses made a discovery about God. He made some interesting discoveries about God. Let me share with you some of the things he found out. You know, the first thing Moses found out was God already knew about his sin. You know why that's important? Because so many of us live our lives trying to hide our sin. We try to hide it from other people. We try to hide it from God. We sometimes even try to hide it from ourselves, denying its reality. Okay, and here's the truth that Moses found out. God already knows your sin. He knows all that secret stuff that you don't tell anybody. He knows that secret stuff you don't even tell yourself. God already knows the reality of our sin. Here's the next thing Moses discovered, and God is willing to forgive us. We know this because God did not look at Moses in that burning bush and say, "Ooh, you're a dirty, rotten sinner. Go away. I don't want you around here." He looks at Moses and says, "I got a task for you. I'm going to forgive you of your sin, and I'm going to have a relationship with you, and I got important stuff for you to do." He discovered in that encounter with God that our God is the God of second chances. And through his life, he's going to discover he's also the God of third chances and fourth chances and fifth chances. It's one of the reasons we love Moses, because like us, he messed up and always found that he could return to God and be forgiven. He discovered that God knew about his weaknesses, his failures, his ineptitude. God knows everything about us, just like he knew everything about Moses. And God loves us just the same, just like he loved Moses just the same. In that encounter with God, Moses experienced that love of God, that forgiveness of God. And he fell in love with God. And he submitted, he surrendered himself to God. So he didn't do it perfectly. He messed up a lot, but he found every time he messed up, he could go back to God. He could be forgiven again. God sent Moses back to Egypt, and through a series of miracles, Moses got to lead Israel out of Egypt, out of slavery, and toward the promised land. Now, the Bible tells us that as they were walking, as they were making the journey from Exodus through the wilderness, Moses set up a tent just outside of camp. He called it the tent of meeting. And he would go there to spend time with God. Tent of meeting. He would go there to meet with God. And I love the way chapter 33, verse 11 talks about this tent of meeting. Here's what it says, verse 11. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face as a man speaks with his friends. Isn't that wonderful? God and Moses would get together there in the tent of meeting, and they would talk just like friends talk. And let me make it even more beautiful for you. You know that expression, face to face, that God would talk to Moses face to face? That's not a bad translation, but that's not a literal translation. In the Hebrew, that literally says they would talk to each other mouth to mouth. It's an expression of intimacy. And you can think of it two ways. You can think of it as kissing. They were mouth to mouth. You can think of the closeness, the intimate relationship. You know, somebody pointed out, you know the other thing that points out? Think of it as CPR. As God would take this frail human being, this simple human being, and breathe life into him. And give him life and forgiveness. That's the relationship that God had with Moses. Well, our story continues. Moses, while they were out in the wilderness, goes up to Mount Sinai. He's there for 40 days. And I'm thinking he's there just hanging out with God because he loves God so much. He gets the 10 Commandments. He comes back down, and when he comes down the hill, he discovers that the people have created a golden calf and are worshiping it. And he's so angry with the people that he goes to God to talk to God about these people. And in that conversation with God, I think that conversation really is a test. I think God is helping Moses settle down and kind of focus on what's important. Because here's what God says to Moses. He says, you go ahead and go to the land I promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You go ahead and go to the land, and I'll give it to you. God is saying to Moses, you know how you had the very best life has to offer in Egypt? I'll give you even better than that. I'll give you a land. He said, at one point, God says, I'll wipe out the Israelites, and I'll start all over with you. And instead of this being the people of Abraham, it'll be the people of Moses. I'll give you the land, I'll give you the blessings, I'll give you everything. And then he says, but, God says, but I will not go with you. Because if I do, I might destroy these people. See, Moses had to talk to God into not killing the people. And then God says, well, okay, you can still lead them, but I won't go with you because I might destroy these people. And suddenly Moses is faced with a decision. See, he's been promised the very best that life has to offer. He's been promised all the blessings of God, all the love of God, everything. He's been promised everything you and I might dream of. And it's only going to cost him one thing. The only thing it's going to cost him is his intimate relationship with God. Oh, God will still be his God. He'll love God, God will love him, it'll all be head knowledge. It'll no longer be experiential. It'll no longer be intimate. And that's all it cost Moses. And he can have everything. And he knew what everything felt like. And he could have it all again. All he had to do was give up that intimate relationship with God. So a question for you. How much is an intimate relationship with God worth to you? How would you respond if God offered you everything? Sports team would always win. Dandelions would never grow in your yard. It would only rain at your house at nighttime. Everything would be absolutely perfect. The only thing it's going to cost you is the intimacy that you have with God. What would you say? Let me show you what Moses said. Take out your notes there again, and well, you've got them out. But look at verses 12 and 13. This is verse 12 is observation 1. And while you're turning to observation 1, I got a weird illustration. And it fits in the sermon. Yeah, let me just give you the illustration. Suppose I were to suggest to you, let's all fast for this week. All of us as a church, we're going to fast the entire week. Now here's what you would find if you agreed and we all decided we're fasting this week. You would find the first couple of days would be difficult. You see, for us, eating is the norm. It's what our bodies are used to. Our bodies actually begin to get ready for eating before we eat because they know it's time, and they'll begin to secrete those digestive juices. They'll begin to say, hey, it's time, let's eat. And so that first meal that you pass on, your body's going to say, hey, you forgot to eat. And you're going to feel a lot of hunger. That'll go on for a day or two. And then something happens in the life of the body. Suddenly the new norm becomes not eating. And so all of those digestive juices and that whole process shuts down. And for the next few days, fasting is actually fairly easy. Our bodies don't expect food, and they're used to not eating. So I tell you that, and you look at me going, okay, what's that got to do with anything? And some of you are calling SPRC. Oh my gosh, you stepped out. What does the weird illustration have to do with an intimate relationship with God? For the average Christian today, intimacy with God is likened to that illustration. When we first met Jesus, we were so excited. We were so intimately connected to Him. But over time, that intimacy, that connection began to fade, began to change, and the intimacy was lost. And now the relationship we have with God is mostly head. Mostly our relationship with God is if I hollered out, hey, do you love Jesus? You'd look at me and say, it's a cold, wet, windy day. I'm in church. Of course I love Jesus. I'd stay home if I didn't love Jesus. So but it's a head, yeah, we love Jesus. We do things out of obligation. We do things because we're supposed to. But it's a head love for Jesus. It's not an intimate love for Jesus. It's not a, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the opportunity to be with Jesus again. It's a head nudge. Oh, we'll get a guest speaker or maybe a special service, and that intimacy will be awakened just a little bit. And we'll talk about what a great service it was, what a great speaker, what a wonderful time it was. We're going to recognize something happened, but we don't expect that intimacy to last. We don't expect to live at that intimacy level. Because the worst possible thing that can happen is happening. We've begun to live with a lack of intimacy with God and accept it as the norm. It's become okay to not have that intimate relationship with God. That's where the average Christian lives today. And where we live today is all Moses had to accept to get everything, the best of everything. So what did Moses say? Look at verse 12. He says, God, you have said that you know me by name. That is intimacy. God doesn't just know you. He knows all about you. And He loves you, knowing all about you. He says, you said, God, you've said that I, Moses, have found favor with you. That word favor literally is the word for grace. I found acceptance. I found love. I found life with you, God. Here's what He's saying. He's saying, God, you and I have an intimate relationship. I felt your hand. I felt your love. I felt your grace. I know what it is to love you face to face. And here's the implication of Moses' words. I know what it feels like to be intimate with you, God, and I'm not willing to give that up. Not for anything. God says you can have everything in the world. All it's going to cost you is your intimacy with your intimate relationship with God, the intimacy part. And Moses replied, no, thank you. No, thank you. He said, if I have to choose between every good thing, and he knows what those things are. If I have to choose between every good thing and God, Moses says, I choose God. Moses says, nothing is better than the intimacy we can have with God. What Moses had, church, that's what I want for my life, for your life, for this church. For us, I want God to be more important than everything else. I want us to be able to respond as Moses did. I will not sacrifice intimacy with God for anything. There's nothing you can offer that would cause me to sacrifice intimacy with God. And then Moses goes on to say, look at verse 13, for observation number 2, he says, I want to maintain that intimacy. See, for so many of us, we experienced that intimacy and lost it. Moses says, I don't want to lose it, I want to maintain it. I want that intimacy to become the norm. Therefore, look at what he says, verse 13, teach me your ways. Why? So that I may know them, and I may know God. And the implication, of course, is so that I can do them. Moses says, I want to be with you. I want to follow you. I want to know when I'm doing anything wrong, because one of the things we know that breaks intimacy with one another and with God is when we sin. We sin, we feel shame for that, and it breaks the intimacy. Moses says, oh, I don't want to sin anymore. God says, you're going to sin. Moses says, yeah, I know, but I want to know your ways, God, so I can make it as less and less and less. I want to know your ways so that I can do them, so I can continue to find favor with you. In this prayer, Moses prays that he might know what God would have him do and surrender his life to it so that he can have and maintain an intimate relationship that you know you want and I know I want. Reading a book called Enjoying Intimacy with God by J. Oswald Sanders. And Sanders says something that's scary. So let me prep you for it. Here's what Sanders writes. He says, we are, at this very moment, as close to God as we choose to be. See, God is not the one who's keeping us at arm's length. God is the one saying, come be close. And you and I are as close to God right now as we want to be. Sanders goes on to say, sure, true, there are times when we would like to know a deeper intimacy, but when it comes to that point, we are not prepared to pay the price. What's the price? We pray, teach me to know your ways, God, so that I may do them, so that I may know you, so that I may continue to find favor with you. What's the price to having an intimate relationship with God? It's full surrender. It's a willingness to do whatever God says. So when God says, hey, I want you to do this, we're saying, you bet, how do I do that? And we go into it fully submitted, fully surrendered to God, staying as close to God's heart as we possibly can. That's what Moses wanted for himself. That's what I want for myself. That's what I want for you. So how will we pray? Moses prayed, whatever the cost, I want to stay in there. How will we pray? On that note, let me take you to the challenge. And I apologize, I didn't get these questions in your notes. You're going to have to jot them down, and I hope you will. I want you to just work on these 3 questions throughout the week. The first one is, does my life reveal an intimate relationship with God? I just want to write that one down if you would. In other words, here's what I'm asking. When I walk down the street, are there people who could look at me and say, see that? There goes a man who loves Jesus. Or do they look at me and say, see that? There goes a man who is really impatient with people who want to go slower than he wants to go, and they get in front of him. Or do they look at me and say, see that? There's a guy who, whatever else, really loves the sports team and really, what do they say when they look at me? What do they say when they look at you? Can they look at our lives and say, see that? There's a person who really loves Jesus. Does my life reveal an intimate relationship with God? Here's the second question. How would God describe my relationship with Him? Not how would I describe it. Not how would you describe it. But how would God describe it? Would God describe it as an intimate, close relationship? Or would God say He would love to be closer to us if only we would? How would God describe the relationship with Him? Last question. So what are you willing to do to have an intimate relationship with God? Are you willing to pay the price? Or is there some point where you're not willing to pay? What are you willing to do to have that intimate relationship with God? While you're finished writing those down, and if you miss any, see me and I'll get them to you. Let me just close up with this. Which is better, a bone or a steak? If I were to invite you to my house for lunch after church and I were to barbecue, would you rather have the steak or would you rather have the bone? Who here would rather have the bone? Yeah, I got one. Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, now here's the idea though, here's why I asked the question. So, I got a dog at home. If you give her the bone, don't try to take it away from her. Don't try to take that away from her. Unless you're willing to give her the steak. But don't try to take that bone away from her. Why would I tell you that one? Because church, Christianity, especially in North America, we've settled for the bone. You love God? Sure I love God. Is it making you do anything different in your life? No. I love God. We've settled there. God doesn't want us to settle for the bone. He wants to give us the steak. The intimacy. Will we receive? Let's pray.